What's going on, everybody? I figure I might be talked about. By the way, I'm in the brush truck. My baby. Yeah, this is good baby. Um, Volunteerism decline service. I'm going to give my 2 cents on why there's not a whole lot of people as opposed to what 20 years ago, 30 years ago. People wanting to volunteer and give back. I think part of the problems one of them is lack of dedication. What's going on, Wyatt? Where do I run? Buchanan Volunteer Fire Department. But lack of dedication actually comes in many forms. The fact of, someone may be burnt out from it, just doesn't care anymore, or just needs to find that dedication back to where that firefighter, he or she, used to have. Another problem, I think, is bad leaders. Bad leaders actually, this is just my opinion, is greatly reflected on, sorry, I'm getting text messages. Bad leaders reflects the morale for bad reasons, the morale of the fire department. You want good morale, you want good standing members and all that kind of stuff. You don't want those bad apples, but the fact is you're going to have them. Here's another thing too. Bad leaders actually, when you have bad leaders, you're not doing a good job of retaining your members because of a bad leader. And you're right about that. Of course, I'm right. I mean, bad leaders. It's just that. I mean, bad leaders actually pushes people away from wanting to be a volunteer firefighter. I mean, that's just a cold hard facts. I know I'm going to get hated for this, or I wouldn't say hated, but I'm pretty sure I'll have some people say otherwise to me or disagree with me. Here's another reason: the fact that you need to give that time in order to be a volunteer firefighter. Of course, you have to give them that time, but you have to. I think in most volunteer fire departments, that the department should be understanding of that individual firefighter's schedule, like work schedule. It's not like back in the old days where you could actually clock out and respond to calls. It's not like that anymore. I think employers ever since they made the rule that you can't respond to fire calls, you can't clock out. I mean, I think that greatly affects the decline of the volunteer side of the fire service. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I also believe that the training standards is actually, in my opinion, pretty ridiculous. Back then, when I took Firefighter 1 in 2006, it was like what the highest standard was that you have to 99 hours. Now it's bumped up to hundreds of hours and all that kind of stuff. Then Firefighter 2 followed suit and basically upped the hours. I mean, which is all good. I mean, I have Firefighter 1 and 2 and it hazmat ops. And, the amount of training hours I have is through the roof, including when it comes to wildland firefighter S130 and S190. It's through the roof, man. I'm telling you. Guys, you can argue with me all you want, but when you kind of think about it, that kind of does turn members away with the ridiculous training requirements that you go by. There's a lot of departments out there that you have to have Firefighter 1 and 2 And there's a lot of a lot of volunteer fire departments actually has a standard that you have to have firefighter 1 and 2 and hazmat ops. Well, of course, you have to have hazmat ops to get your firefighter.
Need to respond 536 Hillview Drive, Roanoke. 66-year-old male in and out of consciousness.
Sorry about that. But, you know, of course, you want to set standards high, but you have to understand, you have to meet halfway, be courteous and show common decency and understand that so-and-so's schedule is conflicting with the time that he or she wants to spend down here at any firehouse. I mean, I touch base on bad leaders. Bad leaders, one of the main reasons. And I also believe that training standards, too, is another issue. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who join the fire department, has kids, has a job, doesn't like the fact that there's a bad leader in the fire department and all that kind of stuff, which is understandable. But I'm going to be that kind of guy that actually watches from the... I've always been that kind of guy that watches from the shadows. And I actually listen to both sides of the, stories. And, of course, yeah, there's some people in today that, in this day and age, that doesn't want to volunteer. Yeah, I agree. And but there's also, there's a lot of politics involved. And I think, and this is just my personal opinion, politics has no business being in the fire department. Look, you're here to do one thing, right? You're here to do several things. You're here to help the public, save life and all that kind of stuff, protect property, and stabilize an incident. That's the three things you'll be taught in Firefighter 1. Real talk. But it's just my opinion. I also believe that there is a lack of incentives. I keep hearing all this stuff that firefighters might be tax exempt for house mortgages or taxes and all that kind of stuff. Okay, well, I believe it when I see it. But, the fact is, if you're going to talk about that kind of stuff, if the politician's going to talk about that, then do what you promise. Put it in effect. I mean, that's just my opinion. Another thing too, it's not just lack of incentives, but it kind of falls in the same category. There's a lot of Royal Volunteer Fire Departments where you get, realistically speaking, 100 calls a year. You're not busy. See, fire departments like Bedford Fire Department and Kitland Fire Department, I mean, those guys are running their rear ends off. See, here in Buchanan, we actually run 300, 400 calls per year, realistically speaking. I mean, that's not a lot, but, that's just how it is. Location. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, got to be that kind of guy that actually tells the truth. Also, I think one of the main other reasons why there's such a decline in the volunteer fire service side of things, there's a lot of people who let personal problems get the best of them. Like a member has a problem with the lieutenant, or a lieutenant or captain has a problem with the chief. That's another thing. Conflict issues and personal issues and all that kind of stuff. I think the volunteer fire service needs to get with the times, because these days we have cell phones with cameras, and we have fire cameras and fire helmet cams, sorry, and we have GoPros. I mean, personally, I think GoPros and fire helmet cams is a good public relations tool to educate the public why we do this, and um, J J2D2. If you see this, um, I will give you credit for actually giving me the idea to do commentary on the you know calls that I responded to, but it's going to be separately. But I think it's a good PR tool for the public to know, hey, this is what we do. This is why we park the truck this way, and this is how we do things. I think that's why I'm on YouTube, uploading GoPro videos. Of course, I do other videos too, like gaming videos, like War Thunder and all that kind of stuff. I mean, but you know, volunteerism is not what it used to be. It needs to get back to its original roots. See, the fire service in general is having a problem sticking to back in the old days kind of mentality when you could actually mix in the old school with the new school. I'm not saying get rid of tradition entirely, but the fire service needs to go through a generational change, generational transition. Mix it in with the young people and all that kind of stuff. See, a good firefighter, a good senior firefighter, whether you like him or her or not, I don't care. Senior firefighters are starting to be, just that, like, slowly fading away. Senior firefighters, in my opinion, are more important because these are the experienced guys. And there's a train. Thank you. Senior firefighters are more important, in my opinion, because they have the tools and experience to, give to a younger firefighter. But all that plays on attitude. This job is about attitude. Volunteer or career, it is about attitude. Of course, I'm here to help people. That's just the name of the game. If you're here for something else, then but you don't want to help people, I mean, really, why are you a firefighter in the first place? Volunteerism is not like I keep saying it. It's not like what it used to be. You have to worry about politics in the fire service and the firehouse. Like I said, politics has no business being involved in a fire department, whether it's career or volunteer. It's not just volunteer wise; it's career wise. They're having a hard time trying to recruit people. That leads me to my next point: recruitment and retention. Don't. This is just me giving my 2 cents, and this is why I think GoPro videos, response videos with the GoPro, whatever, is another good reason why it's a good public relations tool. Someone sees that, oh, well, they have that GoPro, and oh, I have a GoPro too. Maybe I can help them with this, fire responses kind of thing to upload more videos on YouTube. If you have to do that, I mean, that's a good thing. It really is. But you have these, of course, you have to respect the fact that, you have to respect HIPAA regulations. And of course, you have people in the fire service, fire departments that doesn't like to be filmed for whatever reason. I don't know why. But, that's just the fact. Recruit, retain the members that you have already. Keep them. Personal issues and all that kind of stuff, bad leaders, greatly, sorry, I can't speak today. Bad leaders and personal issues can tear a department from within. I mean, that's just the truth. So recruit as many people as you possibly can. That's within reason, or within the number of limits, within the the limited members that you allow. Of course, there's some departments that have standard operating procedures when it comes to that, or bylaws of limited members that could be in the fire department. But that's just how it is. You need to worry about recruitment and getting those guys certified and retain those members. We need to get the volunteer fire service side of things back to where it needs to be. I hope I gave my insight the right way, but those are the things I think why volunteerism is on the decline in the fire service. Bad leaders, personal issues, unrealistic training standards that actually, I'm sorry, but they are unrealistic. Some of them. But, also lack of dedication.
Responds 1338 Houston Miles Road, Troutville. Medical alarm, 79-year-old female who fallen.
Sorry, but yeah, I had to give my 2 cents about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. The reason I'm doing these live videos is because it's much more easier for me to upload it. But I hate to sound lazy, but get your guys dedicated. Get your guys involved. I know it's easier said than done, but if you, like, for instance, when a senior firefighter does, basically sweeps and mops the floors, a purview or another firefighter sees that and says, hey, maybe I should do this too. And that makes that person want to do it too as well. And, oh, by the way, hi for all those who are watching. But, yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I care a lot about volunteerism, volunteer fire